This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with SB Sports and Chaco Cosmetics. I'm making sure I get this right. I'm getting slated from a sponsor for not saying their name right. You'll obviously know what that feels like as well. Obviously being sponsored by quite a few, you have to make sure you say the right thing for them.
I always have to say the right thing and make sure you're saying them in lane correctly, the way they're kind of structured are and sponsors. So, yeah, it can be tricky.
It is. It's just not as easy as talking to someone or
Listen, it's
boxing.
good that you're sponsored. It's good that you're sponsored. So you got to make sure you get it right.
Definitely do. Obviously we've just had the announcement. Obviously, well, probably no real secret. Sort of, I think we've all sort of known for months that Kerr was going to sign pro.
Yeah.
Does it feel like I know you've sort of said in other interviews and stuff we've done today that was the first sort of signing that you've seen.
Yeah.
Was this a sort of how hard's it been to sort of keep it sort of secretive? When you're so proud of signing someone of Kerr's caliber.
Yeah, listen, it's the worst kept secret in boxing here in Belfast and in Ireland in general. Everybody kind of knew, but pretended they didn't know. I think the thing which they keep secret well was that he's staying with Top Rank. I think that's huge. That's bigger than everything. He's with an unbelievable promoter like Top Rank who really wanted him and really quoted him from us. So yeah, I think it's fantastic. We're delighted to see him. So much potential, so much. He has the goods, I think, and he's got now in my opinion the best management and now the best promotional setup in world boxing at the moment.
I think it's sort of said whenever I was interviewing Kurt there, obviously the fact that Jamie's been a boxer himself, he knows what like to go through. He's sort of using you as a role model in a way because you've been there. You've obviously won a step for them, obviously the Olympics and things like that. But for him, it's the best route to sort of go down. I remember sort of Kevin Ajargo signed with Eddie last week, and Adam actually suggested Kevin to Eddie back in 2017, but he was getting poached by everybody. Was Top Rank the only sort of place he's wanted to go for to make it easy?
No. There was many of offers on the table. Once they heard Kurt was saying pro, but we had to think, what was financially best, what was career best, where he's going to get the best exposure, and kind of gated the best. And in my opinion, still, I'm with Top Rank now. They're the best at doing it. So that was our reason for going down the route of Top Rank.
It makes it easier, I guess, as well, because obviously, as you know now, you get into the promotional side and management side yourself, you can have ears coming always, whereas the less promoters you have to deal with. We see in boxing nowadays there's so much politics involved in between different setups. Obviously Bob and Eddie seem to have a weekly sort of dig at each other.
Yeah.
Does that make it easier, the fact that he stays with Top Rank? It's easy to judge and know certain things, certain leverages you have and what you can deal with?
Yeah, in a sense, yes, because we have such a good relationship with Top Rank. It's very, very easy. And, I think that was the reason we were able to get such a good deal as well, because of the relationship. But also, we have good relationships with everyone. We're not people who have made enemies in the game as of yet, because I know boxing's a very bitter and vain place at times from every kind of corner, and you've just got to be able to navigate yourself and your team the right way through it. And I think we've done well in that so far. With Jamie, taking the lead role, which he's been doing so for so long now, and yeah, we've just been building relationships, and we've got good connections with the Zone, Matchroom, good connections with Frank at BT, Top Rank in ESPN. We have connections all over the place, and it's fantastic. So it doesn't bother me that if he was somewhere else, or if we signed someone else and they are somewhere else, because we have the relationships.
I guess it broadens the landscape of Conlan Boxing as well. The more promoters you're involved with, the more people's talking about you, the faster you'll grow. Obviously looking back on last weekend, pretty much your first sort of taste of Conlan Boxing, because you were doing all the meat of the work in the ring with TJ the last time. How did you feel the whole fight week and sort of things went?
I thought it went fantastic. I gotta give them credit because it's tiring. It's very tiring. I done 1 week and it was a smaller show, a much smaller show than the Field. So yeah, it's a tiring job. You got to give props to the likes of Eddie Hearns and stuff, because they're workhorses. They be on the road doing everything every day, and it does take its toll, I think. But especially when you're trying to continue your own boxing career. So I'm happy he's here. But I think the show went fantastic. how everything was run. One or two wee things we could fix going forward, but it was our first show in terms of the boxing. I thought it was brilliant. We had excitement, we had drama. With Kane Lewis being put down and coming back and getting the draw, and deservedly so too. And Sean McComb, back on the right trail, fighting someone who was very similar to the opponent he lost to, and he controlled it very, very well and boxed very well, stuck to the game plan like he was supposed to. And then obviously, two pound for pound biggest punchers in the country, both in the same gym. Both quiet men. I was going to say one the quiet one, but they're both quiet men. Very unassuming. Paddy more so, he's just so nice and so the nerve. Lewis, you can see when he's in there, he has the mean streak, but Paddy's just a lovely guy. Like even in the ring, he just seems like a nice guy, but he can knock you out with one punch. And listen, it was, as I said, anything you watch Paddy McCrory, it's excitement. They always come and try to bang him out. He gets hit, but he always hits harder than whoever he's in with. So he's the guy putting them to sleep, and it was really exciting to see him do that. And big things on the horizon for Paddy. Lewis, the world's his oyster. He put on a fantastic performance. The way he took that guy out, he's a real finisher. That's something you love to see in young fighters. But I think in his last fight before that, he answered questions about his heart and how much he wanted it. In this fight, he just showed dominance and power. And when he hit that guy, hit him kind of clean on the forehead, that last punch, it was a sickening sound. It wasn't a nice sound. So it just shows you the level of boxing which is here in Belfast. Unbelievable. What a great show. Our first show kind of working together. You couldn't really get any better for it, so I was happy enough.
I guess probably the only disappointment in the card, I don't want to sort of mention the opponent's name. I'm sort of going away from the fact they've given him any coverage, but obviously the only disappointment is obviously Owen O'Neill's fight becoming an exhibition.
It's devastated for him. But that exhibition, that was unbelievable for an exhibition. I was like, these guys need to fight, and I think they're going to be lined up to fight very soon. Leonard Gunning has been talking about that, and I think also Conlan Boxing, we would love to stage it in Belfast. How much fans Owen brings, and this week was the first week, and this build-up was the first time I've really been kind of in contact with Owen, and the first week I met him for the week of the show, and what a lovely guy. And you can tell why people support him. He's such a guy, such a real nice guy, and he's going to be in exciting fights. However long they last or however far he goes, he's going to be in exciting fights.
And I think it's one of them. I think when these were obviously planning the schedule for TV, I think it sort of said to Jamie that Dominic Donegan doesn't come to mess about. Even though it's an exhibition, we see these exhibitions in America and Thriller and things like that where there's no knockdowns, there's no scoring and things like that. Dominic Donegan fought, he seems to become the exhibition man now. I'm not sure if he's going to change his name to Dominic the Exhibition Man Donegan, but he doesn't know how to take away from 100%. He's two defeats in a row. He wants to get in there and wants to fight for real. And he came to fight. Probably the only regret now is he didn't sort of air the fight.
Yeah, definitely. But again, it's an exhibition, and sometimes you get fans complaining about it, but I don't think there was much you could have complained about. People, both guys are rocked at times in there. There was big bombs landing. Robert Smith had says, guys, we need to take it easy here. We don't want to be going too hard because it's an exhibition. We don't want to knock it. We don't want people getting hurt. But yet the two boys went at it. So I think it was inevitable. They fought each other in the amateurs and stuff. So I want to see it. I want to see it live. I want to see it in a maybe a 6 or an 8 rounder. I think it would be a cracker.
It definitely will, and I say with Kirk's obviously signing there as well, leading off the back of that show. I know he's obviously have future signings to come as well, but I guess it's setting the platform there very early on to go, we're serious with what we're doing. Conlan Boxing, you're here to work everybody, but we're sort of the same way as yourself. You're here to take over. It's the Conlan Revolution's here. It's building steam. Is it giving you that sort of urge now that I know obviously the potential of the Wood fight to be announced very soon, but is it giving you that G up? I know you wanted to fight in December, can't happen, but is it just giving you that G up to now to go, I want to get back in, I want to do this, I want to do that?
Yeah, listen, being around boxing does that, no matter what. But when you're doing your own shows and stuff, and you're seeing the excitement, and you're seeing, those emotions and feelings fighters feel, it does make you want to go. And yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the Leewood fight, but I'm excited to see these guys go and start to develop. So yeah, it's going to be a great journey with Conlan Boxing. And as you say, the Conlan Revolution, that was nothing to do with Conlan Boxing. But now it is, because it's the name, and it has been the kind of hashtag for a long time. But it is the Conlan Revolution. It's not just in the boxing, we're developing to this now with the management, the promotional side, and it's going to keep going.
And I guess obviously you've been the sort of flag bearer for it all. The more your success comes, the more people's going to know about Conlan Boxing as well. So it's not just about you. It's sort of nearly as if you're like a sort of father figure type and guiding fighters along the right way. And I guess within your fighters and their cards, whether it's a top rank card or even way the potential of this fight in the zone, is trying to get as many of your fighters as possible to give them that same exposure.
That's it. You got to get the opportunities for the guys, and I think now with the connections and me being on a lot of the shows and big shows, we're going to use them connections and try to make it as possible for our fighters to be on these shows and get the exposure which they need to get.
Definitely as well. Look, well, so thank you for your time. Obviously Christmas is just around the corner. You're probably going to stay still in camp for the news appearing, but I'm sure we'll catch up again soon.
Good on,
Cheers, Mike.
Cheers.